Conor McGregor's at it again, ladies and gentlemen, and this time he's going after none other than Dustin Poirier. Now, we all know that McGregor likes to run his mouth a lot, and he can even back it up inside the octagon sometime. While he can't do much of the latter right now, the notorious one still likes to keep us entertained. In today's video, we're going to talk about the latest banter between McGregor and Poirier. First, let's look at what McGregor had to say about Poirier's staph infection. Let's be honest, we all love it when McGregor takes it to the next level when insulting his opponents. Whether he wins or gets his mouth sewn shut tight, it gives us exactly the kind of entertainment we're looking for. In his latest exploits, McGregor targeted Poirier in one of his ramblings on Twitter. Poirier posted a gnarly photo of his foot on his Twitter account when he was recovering in the hospital from a staph infection. McGregor was quick to pounce at the opportunity and responded with a tweet of his own. However, he didn't account for thousands of people screenshotting it before he could take his words back. In his tweet, McGregor poked Poirier, telling him to chop that thing off and keep it for Halloween. As you can all guess, that thing is Dustin's left foot. After deleting his tweet, McGregor sent a more sensitive message to his frenemy, wishing him well and a speedy recovery. However, it seems that Poirier seemed to have seen what McGregor had said before and fired back at him by accusing him of steroid use and challenging him to another fight. McGregor, even the showman, responded with threats that he was going to send off Poirier in a coffin this time. He also didn't miss the opportunity to promote a film he was working on, the remake of the 1989 classic Roadhouse. Let's learn more about Poirier's infection. Dustin Poirier survived a grueling battle against Michael Chandler back in November. It was a bloody fight in the lightweight division, but Poirier eventually managed to submit Chandler in a rear naked choke. Fast forward a couple of weeks after the fight, we find out that Poirier has been admitted to the hospital. Diamond had been diagnosed with a serious staph infection on his left foot, and initially it looked like antibiotics were not working out for him either. After spending a few days in the care of specialists, it looked like things improved for our favorite BJJ black belt, and he was reportedly released from the hospital. After being released from the hospital on Wednesday, Poirier was admitted back to it a day later due to a discovery of an abscess. The abscess was discovered during a follow-up MRI scan, and it had to be drained via surgery. Dustin went under the knife on Thursday, and things seem to have gone smoothly. He looks forward to making a full recovery before his next appearance in the UFC. The reason Poirier seems so scared because of the infection is that if it isn't treated quickly enough, it could spread to a greater part of his limb. And to make matters worse, staph infections are extremely contagious and can affect athletes in locker rooms or even through physical contact with other athletes who already have it. So it's understandable why Dustin was worried. Next, let's talk about McGregor's rivalry with Poirier. These two UFC legends are no strangers to each other inside the octagon. They've met each other 3 times in the past. You heard it right, guys, 3 times. And every single time they've locked horns, they've given us something to talk about. Their very first encounter happened back in September 2014. Conor was a relative newcomer to the UFC scene, as he only had 3 fights under his belt, which he had all won. Poirier was somewhat of a veteran, as he entered his 13th bout since his debut in 2010. However, Poirier's experience counted for little, as McGregor's fluidity meant that he was able to win under just 2 minutes into the first round via TKO. The Notorious began the round with a series of spinning kicks that knocked Poirier off balance, and then he was able to follow it up with a barrage of punches to the face. The second meeting came in January 2021, more than 6 years after McGregor had won. This time, Dustin was hungry for his revenge, and his preparation leading to the bout shows as much. Poirier worked with low kicks really well, causing McGregor a lot of pain in his calf region. Taken by surprise and off balance, McGregor left an opening, which Poirier took and landed a combo of punches to end the fight. The referee decided to stop the fight before the 3rd minute in the 2nd round, declaring Poirier the winner and setting the record even between the 2 fighters. One thing we know about the UFC and Dana White is that they love rivalries. Not only does it allow them to promote fights, but it also lands them a pretty hefty paycheck. Ever since Poirier was able to set the record straight against McGregor, the 3rd battle inside the octagon was inevitable. In July 2021, barely 6 months after they last met, Poirier and McGregor would engage in a duel once again to take home the bragging rights. McGregor began the fight with a couple of spinning kicks, followed up by a series of low left kicks. This left the American dazzled, which allowed the Irishman to land his powerful left punch. Poirier wasn't out of the fight by any means, as he countered with strikes of his own. He connected with his left kick and a left punch, sending McGregor reeling back. Conor then tried taking the fight to the ground with a jumping guillotine. But we all know who the superior grappler is in this matchup. Dustin was able to slip the guillotine and started landing huge elbows and punches on the ground. The fighters eventually made it back to their feet, and this was when everything changed for McGregor. He attempted a left-handed strike and missed. At the same time, his left foot went under him, and he was on the ground screaming in agony. Poirier didn't let up, however, and went in for the kill, only to be stopped by the bell. The ringside doctor examined McGregor and deemed him unfit to continue with the fight. His leg had shattered, giving Poirier the victory over his rival. What's next for McGregor and Poirier? The Irishman clearly believes that the fight isn't over and that he was cheated by fate during his last defeat. After spending a year and a half in recovery, he looks to make a comeback to the cage, and we're sure he'd go after Poirier sooner or later. Poirier, on the other hand, is no slouch either, and in the time McGregor was away, he has been picking up win after win. If their latest Twitter banter is any indication, both of these men are raring to go at each other once again inside the octagon. Following up, Joe Rogan and Conor McGregor roast each other. First up, Rogan took a jab at McGregor. Joe Rogan is the latest high-profile figure to call McGregor out on using performance enhancement drugs during his recovery. Rogan has been a commentator on UFC since 1997 and runs his own podcast. During one of his shows on the Joe Rogan Experience, he called McGregor out for using steroids. He went on to say that the former two-division champion has been exploiting loopholes in USADA regulations, and that his, I'll say, number one, would melt the USADA cup. The 55-year-old commentator based his allegations on McGregor's last photos and his prolonged absence from the USADA program. Let's talk about McGregor hitting back at Joe Rogan. Conor McGregor lashed out at the UFC color commentator following allegations of steroid use against him. He responded with a now-deleted tweet saying that Rogan's urine would melt a hole through his knickers. He posted the tweet with photos of Rogan at age 25 and 52, looking jacked as hell. This isn't the first time the Irish superstar has gone after Rogan either. In November, McGregor mocked Rogan for his commentary, bringing up in particular the incident of the illegal knee to Khabib's head during their infamous battle. These posts were also later deleted. Does McGregor even think about what he's saying online? Finally, other fighters think the same. In the past, UFC fighters such as Anthony Smith, Justin Gaethje, Paulo Costa, and Dustin Poirier have all expressed that Conor has been on a heavy steroid diet during his recovery. We can't blame them for saying so. Just look at any of the recent photos McGregor has been posting on his socials. The guy looks huge right now. McGregor hasn't been tested during the entirety of 2022, which sounds really suspicious in our opinion, given that he's been recovering from a broken leg, but his sudden appearance back in the media, looking jacked as he is, and declaring his intention of competing in the welterweight division does sound somewhat fishy. So, what do you guys think of the latest Twitter spat between Poirier and McGregor? Would we see a round 4 of this saga? Also, let us know how you think McGregor got so jacked in the comments down below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.